Good blessed Friday, April the 2nd, 2021. It's about 7:57 a.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with a universal greetings of peace, and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're the proclaimed toughest or the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me, my YouTube channel, which I encourage all human beings to watch, because you might learn something from it. It's Raymond, Raymond, Ivy. I don't look for thumbs up and thumbs down. I care less if I had 1,000 thumbs down and 1 thumbs up. Because them 1,000 thumbs down, my granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter told me, she said, Grandpa, when you don't get a thumbs down sometime, you're not doing too much. You know, when the enemy keep on giving you a thumbs down and saying you study talking about the same thing, apparently they must like the same thing. Like James Brown said, that same old funky song. But anyway, I want to say a few things today. Some people say that I'm a preacher. Preachers running our family. Educators running our family. Law enforcement officials running our family. But I'd like to tell y'all that I am an ambassador of Jesus Christ, dispatched any place on the face of this earth. Some people to say to stir up mess. That's what corrupted law enforcement officials or judges or the legal system. All of it ain't corrupt, but that's what they may say. They told Martin Luther King he was a troublemaker, but all he was trying to do is get justice. He was trying to help the garbage workers down in Memphis to not have to work up on unsanitary conditions. But I'm going to leave that alone because some of y'all may think that I'm a preacher. I'm not a preacher. I want to show y'all something right quick because I see my things is trying to blow away. Because some people say that I'm a racist. I want to give you a little introduction to some of my family. This is my dad's mother. This is Lula Skates Ivy. Skates was her last name before she married my biological grandfather. May both of them rest in peace. My biological grandfather, Barry B. Ivy, he happened to be a sharecropper. He grew cotton. Came from Arkansas because they say something called Bo Winkle was eating up or messing up his cotton. So he brought all the sisters, was all of my aunts on my dad's side was born in Arkansas, and my dad came down here and he gave birth. His wife gave birth. My grandmother gave birth to 6 bright young men. My dad and his 5 brothers. 4 is deceased and the 2 youngest is still alive. But my grandmother happened to be Irish and black. For those that have said I'm a racist. In Southern Illinois, those that don't know me, I want to show you something here. Show you what I done, even though I've been to prison. But let me show you those that say I'm a racist. Let me show you my teacher. The lady happened to be named is Dottie Miles. Some of the law enforcement officials in Carbondale, Illinois, that's investigating my son's death, he happened to know her. Her and the paramedic on the right-hand side, I'm in the middle, I was in prison. And they was giving me my certificate because I became a EMT and CPR instructor. I wasn't a criminal when I went in. Somebody tried to take my life and I took theirs. And I will just let it be clear, if you try to take my life or somebody else's, and that's the only way that I can get out of getting my life or anybody that's around me life, I would have to take yours. But you know, some people say I'm prejudiced, a racist. A racist wouldn't let a white female and a white male educate them on any type of education. Then I'm so racist. Look at here. I'm teaching black and whites. And I want to let you know that I taught prison guards as well as people from the local colleges, people from the street in Southern Illinois, scratching from Cairo all the way to Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County. Some of y'all law enforcement officials in that area know. But you know, when I was inside, I decided to get me some education. I just didn't want to be a Illinois EMT. You see what that say? National Registry of Emergency Medical Technicians. That means I can go in any state. Miss Dottie Miles and the paramedic on the side, I forgot his name, they seen that I was doing a good job. And they decided to give me present me with a certificate of appreciation. You don't give that to a racist or a knucklehead. But you know, before or a little bit after I got my certificates and my license, I used there's a lady in Southern Illinois that I don't know if some of the officers that know her, Miss Carol A. Baker. She allowed me to be one of her aides in teaching adult basic education, ABE, adults that didn't go too far in school, you know, 5th and 6th grade, to help them get their GED, and I helped it many. And you see, in Illinois, you know, the college, they felt that, you know, I did such a good job, they gave me a literacy initiative volunteer certificate of humanitarian achievements. You don't see a racist or troublemaker getting that. You know, I dedicated 50 tutoring hours helping others. I didn't just stop there. She told me, get you some type of degree where you can deal in anything. I decided to go, you see, in Southeastern Illinois College, same people that gave me that certificate, to get my associate's degree in liberal studies. You see, God was working on me right then and there. God was working on me to let people know just because I grew up in Cabrini Greens, in the infamous housing projects in Chicago, that don't mean that I couldn't become to be something or somebody. You know, I just want to let y'all know that I am a human being who just lost a son. Some say it's suicide without even just considering anything else. Southern Illinois, if you think I'm racist, this should give you a little indication that I'm not. If somebody took his life in Southern Illinois, and if you're watching, you can see that I'm not one that give up. I was taught by my parents to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave, and that's what I'm doing. And to all those that came to me many a times here in Charleston, Missouri, Southeast Missouri, Mississippi County, that then came to me and asked me to vote for people and do all this here. You know what I mean? And I got attacked for voting for certain people. And now here it is, my son's life was taken. And I ain't seen damn one of y'all came and try to use your resources. But I don't need you. If the shoe fit, wear it. Family down here and some family scattered all over the other place. Even if you don't like me, you couldn't even tell my two daughters, I'm sorry, my two young daughters down here, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. You see, but you don't hurt us. I built my girls to be strong girls. We don't depend on y'all. You see what I'm saying? One thing about it, let me tell you another thing, y'all. My next mission is to go up into Chicago and go to these cemeteries, the people that own these cemeteries. Let me tell you what one cemetery wanted during the weekday if my son was buried there. This has nothing to do with the funeral, just the burial spot. Me and my daughter's mother, we want my son's mother, we wanted to bury my son in Restville Cemetery. I believe it's in Espen, Illinois, the southwest suburbs. That's where my mother is buried, my brother and my sister Barbara's husband, my brother-in-law is buried, and my son's mother's mother and sister is buried out there. So my son that they claim hung himself, and I believe different, his two grandmothers, his uncle and aunties are buried out there. And that's the first one that I reached out to. They told me during the weekdays, if you're sitting down and you got a bad heart, put your nitroglycerin in your hand, ready to take it. If you got high blood pressure, sit down and get your pills. Hey, how you doing? If you are diabetic, have your medication to the side. But let me tell you what they told me during the weekday, $5,800. I got a Suburban that's worth $15,000 and I didn't pay but $4,800 for it. So I couldn't even put that up for collateral. Then they told me on the weekend, I tried to interrupt them because I didn't even want to hear the weekend. After hours is $6,000 plus. With that price, I can pay for 2 funerals with a casket. And then I went to another one. I don't even want to tell you the price, but the cheapest price that I could find was $2,420. If I got to go out and pick up cans, my son will be buried where his daughter, his grandson, his mother, me, his sisters and brothers, his nieces and nephews, and all his relatives that are concerned about him, because all is not concerned. I have family on my side that ain't called damn time, but I don't care. And my children's got family on their side that didn't even call, but we don't care. You see, we don't need them because we got a source of all sources, and that's God. God, the one that sent me to the penitentiary because I was hard-headed, and he showed me another way, and I educated, I used it and came out here helping a lot of people, but people don't help me, but I don't look for their help in return. I asked God to touch the hearts and mind of those 2 sergeants, that chief of police in Carbondale, and anybody else that's working to try to find out what actually happened to my son. I'm asking them to touch their hearts, minds, and souls. I'm asking all the other family members that's been praying, that's been giving donations, that's been calling and texting. You see, donations, you don't have to give a donation. Your prayers, your calling is just as good as a donation. That's a donation. But you see, some haven't even called. But we used to that. And we don't even hate y'all. We pray for y'all, but we stay our distance from y'all, because we know what you're about. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to go for right now. I just wanted to show the people in Carbondale, Illinois. You see what I'm saying? I'm just a stranger in this world. You see what I'm saying? But the Bible say, be careful how you entertain a stranger, because some have entertained angels unaware. God sent people. They might have sent Brian down there to do the right, but God knew that he might have not stayed on the course that he sent him on. It's hard sometimes. But I thank those of you all in law enforcement that knew my son for a decade or more and that was trying to work with him. Because I tried to work with him from here, from a distance. His mother tried, his brother tried, his sisters tried. Now God has revealed something to me why he allowed my dad to go to rest on January the 30th. He knew this day was coming and I wouldn't have been able to do all the investigation in Carbondale and travel up to Chicago and back to try to get a resting place for my son, a funeral home to go down to Carbondale, Illinois for a reasonable price to get my son's body. And to be able to bring my 2 grandchildren down here to let them get a little spring break. God knew all this was going to happen. I wouldn't have been able to do it with my dad because I had to watch him 24/7. God, I thank you. I thank you for all that you've done, all that you're doing, and all that you're going to do. I know you're going to give us justice. Family and friends, don't give up. Those of y'all up there with my son's mother, y'all help her stay strong. Those of y'all that know me, just pray for me. I'm feeling weak sometimes, but I got to stay strong. I'm going to leave for right now, and I'm going to say peace, be still.